Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who just got a hankering for triple mint gum. Welcome, Jacob.
And you just can't get the flavor out. It's just ridiculous, man. Anyways, why thank you. Let me introduce our co-host, a man who, oh my gosh, if I hear another thing about hockey, I might go kapok over it. Welcome, Drew.
The funny thing is I don't even like hockey.
It's fun.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, definitely the live games. Oh my gosh, stadium. Oh my gosh, go do it. It's awesome.
But you're talking to a man whose the only sport he actually can follow is baseball.
Huh.
Because I really can't follow the other games.
Well, hockey's a lot more kinetic.
If you're talking about the fact that every once in a while it breaks out into a game of hockey when it's normally just fighting.
No, it's not. Hockey is a lot more than just people throwing punches on the ice.
I know, but that's the joke.
Yeah, I know.
A good game of hockey is a giant fight that every once in a while breaks out and people
boom.
People, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Anywho. Yes, tonight we are reviewing the Disney Pixar film Inside Out, which many claim was the last good Pixar film.
Is it?
I'm trying to think what besides Onward came out after this that might qualify.
Well,
for that.
Turning Red was good.
Turning Red, yes. But I mean, I mean, between COVID and this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Disney Pixar,
Good Dinosaur was in there, and I like Good Dinosaur.
Yeah,
but
Good Dinosaur was different.
I'll admit it's not, the best.
It's not everybody's cup of tea, though.
Yeah. The fact that it came out the same year as this movie kind of did not help it any.
No.
But I can't think of what other Pixar films came out at this time.
I'm drawing a blank.
Except I think this is when Cars 3 came out.
Ugh.
But we haven't touched any Cars movies yet, so we'll get there when we get there.
Exactly.
So yeah, are you ready to jump into our spoiler-free thoughts on this?
Exactly. Let's do this. Let
Certified fresh and spoiler-free.
I haven't seen this film since it came out in theaters, and it's not
Same.
because it's a bad film. I think it's just there's so much to watch that this one I just haven't touched in a while. But I did enjoy it. It's probably one of the most creative Pixar movie to come out in the last couple years, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a good, fun movie. I have a couple of issues we'll get to later on, but it's definitely one to watch. I can't really talk much more about it than that without getting into it.
Right. I'm in the same boat with you, Drew. Yeah, like the last time I really sat down and actually watched this film was actually in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I was blown away by the storytelling and the characters and the whole bit. And watching it again, be like, I'm sitting there as an adult man at 40 and sitting there and be like, by the end of the film, I'm choking up. How good emotionally stirring this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I enjoy this movie tremendously, and I'm looking forward to going into our likes and dislikes.
All right. In that instance, why don't we?
Yeah.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the movie Inside Out. Listener discretion is advised. Inside Out was written and directed by Pete Docter, who also directed Monsters Incorporated, and Ronnie Del Carmen, who directed 7 episodes of the television series Freakazoid.
A show I've never seen before.
I'm going to have to torture you with that one.
Right.
I actually like Freakazoid. I think you'll like it too, but it is definitely a crazy television show.
Of course.
It was also written by Meg LaFauve, Josh Cooley, Michael Arndt, and Simon Rich. Getting into the cast, Amy Poehler plays Joy, and she's most famous for playing Leslie Knopp in Parks and Recreation. Phyllis Smith plays Sadness, and she played Phyllis Vance in The Office. I'm guessing you don't know any of these things.
Nope. No idea.
Now, here's one you'll know. Bill Hader was the voice of Fear. And in the 2017 Power Rangers movie, he was Alpha 5.
That's right. He was one.
Yeah.
Looked like gosh.
Lewis Black plays Anger, and apparently he played Santa Claus on SpongeBob SquarePants.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And Mindy Kaling was the voice of Disgust, and she was the cause of the television show that must not be named.
Yes.
Thelma,
Yeah.
ruiner of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Where's the real Ran?
Please, guys, go back and fix that. Please. Richard Kind was the voice of Bing Bong, and he was Monty in Tangled the series, aka Rapunzel's villain. That's not what it was.
Monty?
Monty, enemy, and Rapunzel's enemy. That was the name of that episode.
Yeah, very interesting episodes.
Right.
Go back and listen to those. We'll...
Caitlin Diaz was the voice of Riley, and in something called A Very Special Episode, she played a character named Catherine, and I could not figure out what this show was. It was just the only thing. It was the top of her most well known for, besides in this movie.
Really,
she just doesn't have that much else to pick from.
Okay.
Diane Lane was the voice of Mom, and she was Martha Kent in the DC extended universe.
That's right, she is.
Kyle MacLachlan played Dad, and in the television series Twin Peaks, he played Dale Cooper. I think that's the main investigator.
Okay. There again, I never saw Twin Peaks.
And because this is still in the era where Pixar still like John Ratzenberger,
sad.
I do wonder if not, since John Ratzenberger almost never shows up in these things, that he was considered their lucky rabbit's foot. If that's why their movies aren't doing as
that
good anymore.
Could be.
It's probably coincidence, but
true.
Still,
Pixar, just rehire him.
Yes,
and mend the bridges, get him back.
And he was Cliff Clavin, of course, in Cheers.
Yes,
and among many other things like Ham and Toy Story. And something in every Pixar movie. Kingdom Hearts connections. Guess how many we have?
This is a 2017.
Yes.
I would probably guess more like 6.
You're one off.
Up or down?
Up.
Okay.
7.
7. Okay.
We've got Keith Ferguson as additional voices in this movie, and he played Marluxia in Kingdom Hearts. Greg Berger, who was additional voices in this movie, and was Eeyore in Kingdom Hearts. Of course, John Ratzenberger, who was Fritz in this movie, and he played Ham in Kingdom Hearts. Carlos Alazraqui, my apologies if I spelled that wrong. He was the helicopter pilot and Dad's Fear in Inside Out, i.e. the Brazilian helicopter pilot.
Yeah,
that the mother's emotions really liked.
Yeah, that's
and he played Mike Wazowski in Kingdom Hearts. Patrick Seitz was additional voices in here, and he additional voices in Kingdom Hearts. Mary Gibbs was additional voices in here. Do you know what she is most famous for?
Mary Gibbs.
Yes.
I've heard that name.
It's Monsters Incorporated.
Okay.
She played Boo.
Oh, okay.
So when she was, 2 years old, she did that role?
Yeah.
And they used her archival audio from that in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay.
For Boo in that movie.
Okay.
For that game. And Brett Brooke Parker, who played the bad actress in this movie in the dream sequence.
Yeah.
She was the trailer mom in Kingdom Hearts, i.e. they showed one of the scenes, from Monsters Incorporated where what is the purple monster's name? That's the villain in Monsters Incorporated.
That's a good question.
He shows up in the trailer and they go, and he goes, and it's obviously somewhere in the boonies in Louisiana. It says, "Mom, an alligator's got inside the trailer again."
That's right.
That character. That's who I'm talking about. That's who she played in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay, I got
Not the same line, but it's meant to be that same moment.
Yeah.
What do we got in info and stuff?
So let me get to my notes real fast. Come on. There we go. All right. So info and stuff. IMDb has an 8.1 out of 10. It's available to watch on Disney Plus if you subscribe to Disney Plus, or if you have the Blu-ray or DVD or Ultra HD, whatever. Production was Walt Disney Pictures and Pixar Animated Studios, distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. Release date, where do you think it was first viewed? On May 18th, 2015, not 2017, like I said before, but 2015. Where was this movie first viewed?
Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Wrong. Guess again.
It's still somewhere in LA. It's the closest I'm gonna get.
Cannes Film Festival.
Okay, was it Cannes?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where Cannes is.
I don't remember either, but we're gonna move forward.
It's in France. Anyway,
yeah. Anyways, so it premiered throughout the United States on June 19th of the same year. Going into box office, it had estimated budget of $175 million. Its opening weekend for the United States was $90.4 million on June 21st. Its U.S. gross in Canada gross was $357.9 million, and its global gross is $858.8 million.
Okay.
Home release, Inside Out was released on digital download on October 15th. This was followed by a DVD and Blu-ray following that in November. Physical copies contained behind-the-scenes featurettes, audio commentaries, deleted scenes, and 2 shorts, Lava and Riley's First Date. If you haven't seen Riley's First Date, it's actually kind of funny. So highly recommend you.
Lava's good too.
Lava's really good too. Don't get me wrong, that's really good. Because I watched this late last night because me and Drew had a really good conversation after Bible study, and I got home late and watched it, and it was like, you know what, this is 9 minutes, so this ain't gonna take long. So yeah, it's probably maybe like 4 or 5 minutes. It's worth your time. Go watch it. And Lava's really good too. All right. Home media release was a success, being the best-selling home release in November, and the number 5 rental. Back in the day, there was rentals during its release week. About 57% of its sales were on Blu-ray. A 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray version was released in 2019. The physical release has earned about $97.8 million by 2015. Sequels, because they just can't leave good movies alone. So a sequel titled Inside Out 2, surprise, surprise to nobody.
It may get another name closer we get to release.
Yeah, right.
Like Inside Out, the sequel.
Maybe. They're actually making a making a series.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Of course, if we know I would say it would be about puberty, except I looked through the IMDb list to see if the same, when I was doing the cast list, to see, oh, surely these people are coming back for the sequel. None of the Riley is not in the sequel from what I can tell.
Not yet.
Got to place the setting somewhere in there.
That is true. Let's see. It has been announced to be in development for June 14th, 2014 release. The film will follow Riley as a teenager with a new set of personalized emotions. Amy, how do you pronounce her last name? Poehler. Yeah, Poehler. Amy Poehler will prize her role as Joy, while Mandy Keeling and Bill Hader will not return as discussed in Fear. Following reports of a contract dispute on June 2020, Doctor had confirmed that Sadness would return to the film. Series. A television series based on Inside Out is being developed by Pixar. Soul and Luca writer Mike Jones will be developing the series. So that's all I have for info and stuff.
All right, getting into the summary. Within the mind of a young girl named Riley are the basic emotions that control her actions: joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger. Her experiences become memories stored as colored orbs, which are sent into long-term memory each night. The aspects of 5 most important core memories within her personality incorporate the form of 5 floating islands. Joy acts as leader, and she and the rest of the emotions try to limit sadness's influence. At the age of 11, Riley moves from Minnesota to San Francisco for her father's new job. At first, she has poor experiences. The new house is cramped and old. Her father hardly had any time for her due to him needing to set up his new job. A local pizza parlor only serves pizza topped with your favorite topping, Jacob, broccoli, which she dislikes. And the moving van with their belongings was misdirected to Texas. On Riley's first day at her new school, sadness retroactively turns joyous memories sad, which causes Riley to cry in front of her class and creates a sad core memory. Joy tries to dispose of it using a vacuum tube, but accidentally knocks the other core memories loose during a struggle with sadness, disabling the personality islands. Joy, sadness, and the core memories are sucked out of the headquarters. In Joy and sadness's absence, anger, fear, and disgust are forced to take control of Riley and try to make happy core memories, but the results are disastrous, distancing Riley from her parents, friends, and hobbies. Without the core memories, her personality islands gradually crumble and fall into the memory dump, where things fade to non-existence as they are forgotten. Finally, anger resolves to run away to Minnesota, believing it will restore Riley's happiness. While navigating the vast long-term memory area, Joy and sadness encounter Bing Bong, Riley's imaginary friend, who suggests riding the train of thought back to headquarters. After several adventures and mishaps, the trio finally catch the train. However, it halts when Riley falls asleep, then derails entirely with the collapse of another island. Afraid that all of the core memories will become sad, Joy abandons sadness and tries to ride a recall tube back to headquarters. The ground below the tube collapses, breaking it and sending Joy and Bing Bong plunging into the memory dump. After discovering a sad memory turned happy when Riley's parents and friends confronted her, Joy understands sadness's purpose of alerting others when Riley is emotionally overwhelmed and needs help. Joy and Bing Bong try to use Bing Bong's song-fueled wagon rocket to escape the memory dump. They fail to fully ascend due to their combined weight, until Bing Bong jumps out at the last moment and fades away. Joy reunites with sadness and they return to headquarters, discovering that anger's idea has disabled the console, putting Riley in depression as she boards a bus to Minnesota. To the surprise of others, Joy hands control of the console to Sadness, who is able to reactivate it and prompt Riley to return to her parents. As Sadness reinstalls the core memories, transforming them from happy to sad, Riley tearfully confesses to her parents that she misses her old life. Her parents comfort her and admit that they also miss Minnesota. Joy and sadness work the console together, creating a new core memory consisting of happiness and sadness. A new island forms representing Riley's acceptance of her new life in San Francisco. A year later, Riley, now at the age of 12, has adapted to her new home, made new friends, and returned to her old hobbies after acquiring a few new ones. Inside headquarters, her emotions admire Riley's new personality islands and are given a newly expanded console with room for them all to work together. Getting into the trivia for this, according to director Peter Docter, each emotion is based on a shape. Joy is based on a star, sadness a teardrop, anger a fire brick, fear a raw nerve, and disgust is broccoli. You know that he hates broccoli, that he likes broccoli very much, however.
What is wrong with this person?
Some of the memory balls in Riley's mind contain scenes from other Pixar movies, such as Carl and Ellie's wedding in Up, 2009, which we still need to review.
Yes.
The writers considered up to 27 different emotions, but settled on the 5 of joy, sadness, disgust, fear, and anger to make it less complicated. Some of the major emotions that ended up being cut include surprise, pride, and trust. Yeast of Eden is based on a which is the pizza place, is based on a bakery located near Pixar Studios. It only serves one kind of pizza each day, and broccoli is one of the toppings. When Pete Docter and Jonas Riviera pitched the idea pitched the film to Mindy Kaling, she was moved to tears and said, "I think it's great that you guys are making a film that shows it's difficult to grow up and that it's okay to be sad about it." According to Pete Docter, they then exclaimed, "Quick, write that down."
Good idea.
Director Pete Docter has said that Bing Bong's voice actor, Richard Kind, was actually crying while recording the line, "Take her to the moon for me," okay? Kind later admitted to this. Also, the cast and crew reportedly cried while recording the scene. In the course of the film, Joy experiences all 5 of the basic emotions. Joy being her overall demeanor, anger at Sadness's actions, disgust towards Riley's dream boyfriend, fear towards Jangles the clown, and finally sadness in the memory dump. Lastly, in the scene where Riley's dream about her new house turns into a nightmare, the music playing in the background is from the Disneyland attraction, The Haunted Mansion. So, what is your first dislike for this? Your first like for this film?
Wow, we're going to different directions.
Sorry,
you did. My first like of this film is how the writing is done with psychology in mind of the human condition. Mental health is a big thing, and I know a lot of. I believe, back 20 years ago, like this idea of mental health wasn't really a thing, but now it's come more to the forefront. And you have a film like this who is expressing mental health, definitely when you're dealing with a preteen or a tween, and who would be like, for those who, all of us have been a preteen at one point, and we're, those emotions are coming out, we don't know how to control them, and you're just like an emotional mess the entire day. So I remember those days. They weren't fun. And the idea that a part of you shifts and it changes. So we get that in Riley. It's because Riley is this happy-go-lucky little kid when she's little, but when she goes into her pre-adolescence, in her preteen years, it's just this emotional change, and you see that. I enjoy that because it's this idea that like joy and sadness are ejected from headquarters, because now it's more these mixed emotion that you don't know what's going to happen next, because you're not overwhelmingly joyful, nor are you overwhelmingly sad. So you're just kind of in the funk. You're depressed half the time. So I enjoy that for the story itself. And you have Riley's journey along with the emotions journey of trying to get home, or in this case, Riley's trying to get back to where she's from, because she misses everything, and the other emotions don't know how to be joy when they should simply be themselves, and it doesn't really work well. But I enjoy the story for what it is. I enjoy where they go with the mental health. I enjoy with the emotional state of the characters, who they are. They're represented fairly well. I do have some questioning of why you have so many. You have one positive emotion and everything else is a negative emotion. So she's
a teenager.
Oh, I know that, but that's like everybody else in the movie. Are those 5 emotions?
Well, I mean, those are the main ones.
I agreed, but we'll get there when we get there.
Anyway,
but I enjoyed the story for what it is. It is very well done, very well written, has like so many depths and layers of like psychology of talking, within the human mind and what people go through. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that aspect of the film. So it's story.
My first like for this film is the visual storytelling.
Yes.
Your first thought is like, okay, yeah, inside the mind, there's going to be a lot of, different like imaginative ways of showing things. Like, of course, you got the imaginary friend, Bing Bong. The different islands are all kind of abstract designs of those concepts, and different things like that. But that's not necessarily what I'm referring to.
Okay,
even though that is there. I am mainly referring to out in the real world, especially Riley herself. At the beginning of the film, while she is still, her happy-go-lucky self, primarily through Joy's help, she is wearing kind of a yellow striped shirt throughout that part of the thing. After her, as the scene's going by, everything's bright and cheerful at the beginning of the film, and she's, like I said, she's wearing that yellow shirt. As the movie continues, and when they first get to the house, everything is gray and dreary and not the beautiful place they were hoping it was going to be. And then you get to And slowly, if you'll notice from the beginning of the film to the end, her shirt changes color. It starts off as that bright shiny yellow, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
but when she's on the bus, it is gothic black.
Yeah.
For lack of a better way of describing it.
agreed.
I mean, it is pitch black.
Yeah.
When she's going through her full-on depression stage.
Yes.
And there's just there's color on the screen during those scenes, in the
but
real
it's all
world,
washed
but
out.
it's all washed out and dirty and grungy and very depressing. And even the scenes that we like the hockey rink when she gets angry is all very and it's obviously looks like a hockey rink and does kind of have the feeling of cold, but it almost you can tell it just does not have visually, it does not have the pull it normally would have for her. And I just appreciate the way they through the visual storytelling during the real life scenes, how they kind of show you what Riley's emotional state is, when the irony is we've been following her emotional state far closer with her actual emotions this whole time. But the creative, the visual storytelling is what this is going to be my first like.
Okay.
What's your second?
My second like would actually be Bing Bong. Bing Bong is a character. This character would be like, he pops out of nowhere. We really don't know who he is until like the middle of the film. And he's introduced who he is, and Joy's all excited and be like, oh my gosh, be like, Bing Bong is I'm actually recognized by the prime emotions, which is like, okay, I'm actually recognized.
Of course they recognize him. He's Riley's imaginary friend. They saw him all the time.
Exactly. So you have this, good, be like, in a lot of ways, the story kind of leads you to believe that something's going on with Bing Bong, that he's somehow like trying to sabotage things, which in truth he's not. Like, he's just trying to help these two emotions where he can help Riley, because obviously he is a lost imaginary friend who is not forgotten but still there.
If he has an ulterior motive, it is just that he will be remembered again. Yeah,
exactly. That's the primary motivation of him. But because like when you first see him in the film, he's taking memories. He's not going to be like, it's not core memories.
Actually, you don't get to see him, but you see a connection to him like really early on in the film when Riley's still a kid, because she's singing his theme song at one point.
That's right. Just
throwing that in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool little continuity thing.
True. Very true. So, in the character who is just wanting to be remembered, and I think that's a lot of us in so many ways, that we want to be remembered. Either we want to remember our childhood, or we want to remember something great. And just like Bing Bong, he wants to be remembered. And then you have the moment where our characters are thrust into or are banished to the what do they call that area?
The memory dump.
And I love that moment. It's so tear jerking. It's such to use the lack of a word, emotional. It's an emotional scene where Bing Bong willingly sacrifices himself in order for Joy to get to the rim of the dump. And it's just this idea, he doesn't have to continue on as long as what he did when he was prevalent in Riley's imagination, that's what matters. And because there again, I don't think this movie really, it has a quote unquote villain, but it's not really a villain.
I don't even know if it's really got a villain.
Yeah, I think it's got
you've got a situation, and you've got things that kind of take place. If someone is quote unquote a villain, technically it would be Joy. But she comes around. I mean,
she does.
Unless you're just going to count Mr. Jingles or Jangles, whatever the name of the clown was.
That was just more, oh my gosh. And it's like, yeah. I didn't have a fear of clowns. I was more scared of snakes. But bear. But I know a lot of people were just terrified, petrified of clowns. So yeah. But it was just like Bing Bong's arc as a character, that he is Riley's childhood imaginary friend, and he is willing to sacrifice his existence to be forgotten from Riley's memory in order to safeguard Riley's future. And at that point, I'm getting choked up. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Because if we extrapolate that and give it more of like a Christian viewpoint, is that what's what Christ did for us? Well, when he died on the cross for us, a willing sacrifice, and not like what the world wants to say, or be like, oh no, because be like he was just a good example. He was a good teacher. No, he was the Son of God, came down to earth to be a living sacrifice for us, that we will have eternal life with him through his shed blood. So it's, they say almost the same analogy where Bing Bong gives of his essence, gives of his life, gives of a memory to secure Riley's future, which we knew that be like, it was a matter of time. We knew what was going to happen at the end of the film, but this emotional tear-jerking moment, and I'd be like, I think we said before that Pixar really hasn't gone back to this.
This
like
is the last time they've
like
really
good deep storytelling.
this.
Yeah, and it's sad because like for us who grew up watching Pixar or watching Disney, and now we look at the state of what Disney is. Now, hopefully they can, quote unquote, pull themselves up by their bootstraps, which you can't. But it's this amazing journey of what Bing Bong does as character. It's very well done. And yeah, it's Bing Bong. It's Bing Bong. I love this character. I love his design. It is so much of a 3-year-old, 2-year-old's imagination.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. But yeah, Bing Bong is my second like.
My second like is the emotions. The entire idea of, obviously Joy's in control because she's been in control since the beginning. And she just wants to make her happy. And then poor Sadness is just there and no one knows what to do with her. Anger, they can see how anger has a point. They can see how fear has a point. You can see how disgust has a point. And I think the characterizations of all those characters is done very well.
Yes.
I especially like how happy anger is. Ooh, let me use the good curse word. But the other thing I like is the fact that when we do get to see the emotions in other people's minds,
that's
how
hilarious.
that tells you so much about who those characters are.
Yeah.
The dad's main emotion, i.e. the leader, was anger. Mom's was sadness. We won't talk about the dog or the cat because that was just dogs and cats being dogs and cats.
Well, I would say this when it comes to the emotions of the dogs and cats. The dogs are more like, okay, we've got to plan what we're going to do, but it's just a dog. Cat, it's all over the place. And the cat just walking here, doesn't care. And the scene we're referring to
is at the end of the movie.
Is at the end of the film where the cat's just standing there and then all of a sudden just meow. Hilarious.
Well, I mean, they started playing with the console and I've seen. So that was an orange cat, wasn't it? That means it had one brain cell.
No, it wasn't an orange cat.
It was a tuxedo.
It was a tuxedo cat.
Okay, yeah, never mind. It just cat saw something strange, and that's how the emotions caused it to happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna wig out,
but
about something.
But it's showing all the emotions of the other. My favorite one was the teenage boy talking to Riley.
Oh my gosh!
And you can see his brain is broken. They go, it's like, it's a girl, it's a girl, it's a girl. We don't know what to do.
Been there, done that.
But yeah, I love just how you can tell just by looking at who's in charge in these brains, who it is, and plus there's a nice little sweet thing. The moms in the early when they're getting ready when they're trying to figure out what's up with Riley before they ground her. The back and forth between not the humans necessarily, but the mom's emotions and the dad's emotions, and the mom's emotions get fed up and they just start thinking back to their hot Brazilian pilot
that was perfect.
From the thing.
That was perfect.
But the sweet moment is they get to the end and her anger after seeing how sweet the father's being about the face paint and such, she throws the thing behind, says, we don't need that anymore. First fear being fear, goes and grabs this just in case.
Yeah, just in case. You never know.
You never know. But yeah, I thought that was sweet. And I just loved how they didn't even have to explain who those emotions were, and the others just like, oh, that looks like anger, but yet it's got a mustache. That's dad. That's dad's anger. So you can just easily tell just by looking. And of course, the whole thing about getting him ready to put his foot down. It's like DEFCON 2, and it's like we're getting ready to set up an atomic bomb.
Oh yeah.
Which is like, that could have been a disaster. Go over to mom's mind. Well, that was a disaster.
Sure. It's like, what was he thinking?
And apparently everybody has Triple Mint Gum's jingle stuck in their heads.
Oh my gosh.
We just send that up whenever we feel like it. Just for the heck of it. But yeah. So yeah, that's my, what was that? Second like. That's my second like. What's your third?
Mine would be Joy's journey. Joy's journey of being like, she's the one who started. She's the one who is primarily in control and is so worried that sadness is going to ruin everything. And she's the one who, like, obviously she's the emotion, she's the primary emotion, and it's this, has a grip on control and doesn't want to lose control. And where sadness does something is, oh my gosh, you're being an interference, you are being this annoyance, you're ruining everything. Where it's this journey where they get sucked out of the headquarters into the memory banks. And it's just this amazing journey of these two characters who are trying to work together, and eventually they do wind up working together and understanding their roles in Riley's life as a character. And where that big moment where Joy understands that sadness isn't just you want to put her in the back because you don't want to be sad. And it's like that moment where she allows sadness to take control. And what sadness does is allows other people to, be like, hey, I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
Be like, I need support. I need help. And like a lot of us, but like when we get sad, we want to just push it down. Be like, we want to be happy. We want to be happy.
Push it down, way down.
But be like, when you push emotions down, it doesn't help anything. It just boils back over. So if you allow your emotions to come out, I'm not saying you be controlled by your emotions, because if you're controlled by your emotions, be like, you don't know what your mood's going to change from day to day. So in that regard, I enjoy it's hard not to use the primary words with this, but it is a joy to see a character go through that kind of character emotional arc from being, I have to be in control and everybody has to stand aside because I'm going to make everything right.
Yeah.
To by the end of the film, which was a very gratifying moment where Joy went, okay, you're in control for a moment. Let's see how this goes. And it is such a beautiful moment. And then it's wonderful. It's a wonderful moment to see a character grow in that kind of span of time. And you are not fully in control. You are not fully in control with everything. And yeah, it's a wonderful arc for a character. I just enjoy her journey. That's my number 3.
My third like is the events in the Dream Studio.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because Joy is just trying to make, she's gonna get happy and that's gonna wake her up. And it's like, yeah, that since when has that ever happened? But the whole thing was like, and of course the dream filter comes in and turns everyone into what they're supposed to look like instead of just, the emotional abstract look of things. Which is great when they're jumping around the dog as the dog on both sides. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's cute. And then they separate out. And I remember about thinking, what does that look like? That's a horror. Can you show that on in a movie for kids? 3 seconds later, they showed that in a movie for kids. It just looks like they cut a hot dog in half.
Yeah.
It's just like that works. That works perfectly.
It works.
And then Jangles the clown show.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
yes.
of course that wakes. That's gonna wake her up.
It's her worst nightmare.
Yes. But then all the other little things, like how they were showing, especially like when they're going into the house at that one point, and the dead rat comes up and says, "Come live with me, Riley."
Oh, that was great. That was so good.
Those things are not supposed to be like.
No.
It's almost like something you wouldn't think about, because you eventually do forget these things in reality. Yeah. But watching that was like, oh, that is funny. It's just abstract enough that it doesn't make any sense, but at the same time, I follow the train. Pardon the pun. I followed the train of thought.
Bum, bum, bum.
So yeah, that's my third was Dream Studio.
Yeah.
So dislikes. What's your first dislike?
My first dislike is this film. I started this as my third like, so I'm gonna start it as my first dislike. Joy's misguided effort. So there again, you have Joy, who is the primary emotion. She's the first emotion. And there again, she has to be in control. She's the control freak. She has to be in control. Riley cannot be sad. She cannot be angry. She has to be all of this. So everything has to be controlled. And at points, it gets a bit annoying, a bit overwhelming in a lot of ways, where Joy, be like, even to the other emotions, be like, if you're not sadness or joy, you're just trying to copy everybody else's emotion. Those two emotions, because it'd be like, if you're not those two emotions, it's like you're not really that important, unless you're the comedic timing of angry. And it gets a bit daunting. It's a little daunting when it comes to because everything doesn't have to be happy, as we all know this. It gets a little tiresome. It's a little tiresome from here to there. The Joy is trying to fix everything. And there again, she's the lead emotion. I get it. But it's more of a nitpick than anything, that our other emotions aren't really being emotions. Are trying to be their emotions. They're trying to be joy or sadness at some point.
Yeah.
And so if we really don't get to see who they are as characters for the most part, except for little glimpses here and there, but they're trying to copy either joy or sadness in some capacity. And I'd be like, I think even the trivia at some point had said that Joy, as the emotional Joy, goes through all the other emotions, which is kind of weird, but it's interesting. So that's my first dislike.
My first dislike for this film, in the scene where Joy is trying to find where sadness has gone, and she's saying, "If I were sadness, what would I be doing right now?" And she starts acting like sadness, and then she finally, as she's laying on her back, waiting to be dragged somewhere, sees that all the orbs are being turned blue on the bottom. Yeah. My problem is none of those orbs were blue before she noticed them. If you look in the shots, before that, they're not blue to before that point, and yet she's not on screen. So what happened there? Granted, that's more animation error than anything else,
right?
But it's like, that was a weird. There should have been more visual clue to us which way to go, and that Joy was just not seeing it. Except it's just not there at all. That's really my first dislike, is that weird little animation error.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
What's your second?
My second, actually, I saw it on the chat, and I was like, you know what? That's a good point, RC Steph. So I think I know where you're coming from. So if I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. So the idea that how they want to wake up Riley, even though they know they know her inside out, pun intended. Like, they use her worst fears to wake her up. It's not, oh, let's be creative. Let's not try to scare the girl. and like scare our best girl because we want her best interest in mind. No. Let's find a nice plot convenience to be thrown into the closet where all the hideous things are.
Okay, I'm gonna have to fight you a touch on this.
Yeah, but I find it clever in some capacities, but you're using her worst fears against her just for your own benefit to wake up before you can get on the train. I understand it's a plot convenience, but at the same time, you're abusing your parent, you're abusing your own kid, your own girl. So I completely get where you're talking about. Oh, okay.
So let me maybe not correct you, but maybe push back a little.
Okay.
She tried the happy way.
Oh, yeah.
Of waking Riley up, and it didn't work. They realized that the way to scare somebody, not scare, but a way to forcibly wake somebody up, is a nightmare. So they get, now, admittedly, they happen to find her worst fears, not too far from Dream Studio, but to some degree, that kind of makes sense. And who's to say that there's not entrances to that subconscious all around that thing? They just happened to be the one they're close to.
Yeah.
And that's the one that happened to get Bing Bong because Bing Bong was crying candy tears, which makes sense.
Right.
And of course the clown followed that, and the clown fell asleep after he threw Bing Bong in a Bing Bong in a balloon jail, which I thought was funny. It was a good way to handle that trope. So Bing Bong's awake, or he's right there. If there's anything that's going to wake up Riley, it's Jangles the clown.
I'm fully aware of this, yes. But I think
she tried it the other way and realized that's not going to work, and she had to go with Sadness's plan, which was scare her awake.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No,
But there's like, what else did you expect them to do to wake her up?
Yeah, true. But I found it more of like a plot convenience where it was like, oh, they just wind up getting themselves thrown in there, and the conveniently is like, oh, there's Django the clown
getting into there where the guards, which ironically were Dave Goles and what's his name? They're two Muppet actors.
Oh, okay.
Plays Yoda as a director now.
Frank Oz.
Frank Oz. It's Frank Oz and Dave Goles, aka Miss Piggy and Gonzo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's who those two people were.
Wow.
They are, because Dave Goles is playing guard Frank, and Frank Oz is playing guard Dave.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so they see them standing there and go, hey, you're not supposed to get out here. Get back in there. Get back here. Yeah, admittedly, that is convenient.
It is convenient.
They're able to get in there. But frankly, it's at that point, it's like, we don't need them trying to sneak in past other guards. Just let them get in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
I understand it bugs you, but it doesn't bug me at all.
I gotcha. Yeah. So, yeah, I found it's a little bit of a plot convenience, but it makes sense why they did it, but it's a little more of a plot convenience to me. But
if you write your way to the plot convenience, is it really plot convenience?
Yeah.
Or anyway.
Yeah.
We got there without it standing out to me other than, oh, that was convenient.
Yeah, that is true.
But I can also logic my way around it where it's not a big deal.
That is true. By the way, I'll be like your explanation, artsy stuff. Yes, totally get it. Yes. So yes, that is my second dislike.
My second dislike. Why did we have to kill Bing Bong? Look, Bing Bong. I get it. He's an imaginary friend. He's supposed to be forgotten.
Yeah.
And she is at the age where if you suddenly had an imaginary friend that you remembered and you started talking to them, they would think you're a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
A little. Just a little. Just a little.
So I get it, but and admittedly, it's a very well written scene.
Agreed.
The way they handle it, because you see the look on, you can just see Bing Bong's brain working, and it's like, oh, I know what he's going to have to do because it's not working with him there, and he's going to have to.
He's being your counterweight.
Oh, okay. But at the same time, going, why'd you kill Bing Bong? He was great. You could have found a place to hide him in Imagination Land there with guy who's supposed to be the Edward from Twilight.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry. That's who I immediately thought of.
I totally get it.
Saw
Riley,
the imaginary boyfriend. It's like,
oh, that's hilarious.
Die for Riley. Yes, but would she die for you?
Mm-hmm.
And
Edward, terrible character.
Yeah, but that's who I immediately saw.
Yeah, understood. Like, completely understand. I think even there's a reference at the very end of the film where it's like, oh, that's Vampire Town or whatever. Obviously of Twilight reference, but that I totally get.
But it's like, you could have found a way to keep him around. I mean, maybe Riley gets nostalgic for her childhood and she remembers Bing Bong. She doesn't talk to him because she's not crazy, but it's fun childhood memories. Yeah, you could have done that without killing him completely.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember Bing Bong after he goes? Is he still hanging out in her memory vault? The memories of Bing Bong.
Right.
Are they still in the memory vault? That's not explained.
No, it's not.
But anyway, yeah, it's just like, you killed Bing Bong.
Yeah.
Why'd you kill Bing Bong? Are you trying to kill us? Are you trying to make us sad?
Yes.
And you are trying to make us sad.
They did an excellent job with that.
Because they had to have, they actually had to have Joy not just feel the sadness that she felt down in the memory dump. She had to be kicked in the butt after it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, where it's like, you get it now, Joy? You get it now?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, they killed Bing Bong. Why'd you kill Bing Bong? That's my second dislike. What's your third?
My third dislike would be so most of us remember our childhood. We don't remember everything in our childhood. So in the movie, they kind of explain it away. It's like they kind of just dump all this excess memory to store more memory.
Yes.
And my thought was like, okay, but you're deleting like really hardcore memories just because they're faded.
But they don't matter to her anymore.
Apparently they don't matter.
How many important memories have you had that you've forgotten and don't even realize?
That's a good point. That is a good point. But in some small ways, be like, you still do remember them, but you just don't be like, it's just kind of fuzzy.
They don't get rid of all of the faded memories. It looks like they're getting rid of pretty much the worst ones. They're not the worst ones, but the most faded. Like, the ones they talk about, it's like, okay, U.S. presidents, remember George and remember Abe, let everyone else go.
Yeah.
And then, and what was the other one? The Pink Pony Princess? I don't know.
Phone numbers. Phone numbers was one of them.
But yeah, those are things that we forget all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree.
So it makes sense if she's not using
them. Oh, yeah, I agree.
Faded, she's not actively calling them back up, so they're not, refreshing.
Yeah.
Does kind of mean the triple mint gum one needs to be like constantly bright.
Yeah, exactly, because it's constantly just being called. So yeah, but like we have these core memories we remember as kids,
right?
And those little memories we have very vague memories of. And like, yeah, it'd be like you're gonna have memories you just no longer remember, but your parents, obviously, your relatives or friends are gonna remember that you did this, but you just have no memory of it. But it's just like there was a small part of me when they went into be like, oh, we just start deleting everything from her like very earliest childhood, and you have not sadness. At that point, Joy had become sadness. She's just grieving grieving the loss of memory, and that broke me in some capacity. But it was almost like they're just dumping all of Riley's earliest childhood memories for just be like, oh, we're gonna bring another sad moment.
But I mean, you don't remember what things were like when you were 2 years old.
That is true. I'd be like, it's a good point. I agree. It's a good point.
Just putting all that out.
Yeah, that's true. And plus, I was kind of grabbing at straws for the last one. Let's just say that.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Mm-hmm.
My third dislike is, and this is so much a nitpick, why don't we see representations of memories in the father's or mother's mind? And we do get at least see the hot Brazilian co-pilot memory, but we never see like on Riley's, they're making up like the back wall so they can pull them up at any time. Mm-hmm. And then they dump them into long-term memory. But we don't see anything like that in the father or mother's memories.
That's true.
My question is why? Wait, we don't know that. We don't get to see their personality islands. And I'm not saying they need to like point them out. It's like, oh, this is the mother's person. It's like, you're showing me a group picture of them at the console. Why can't I see out the back window and get an idea of like a family island or a Riley island for the mother? I could see that easy. Yeah. And
Dads will just be hockey.
Hockey and probably
the love for his wife, the love for his wife and daughter.
Little things like that.
Yeah.
Show me that stuff in the backgrounds. Give me some more. The thing is, this movie is so good about backgrounds.
Yeah.
That when it doesn't do something with the backgrounds, it's like, why didn't you do something there?
At least like this little glimpse of maybe in the corner you can see something, but they don't.
I don't need it like super complex back there, but it's like, let me see something in the distance, like through a window. You don't even have to have it like sharp resolution. You can keep it fuzzy and out of focus, so I can just like figure, there's I could see one of Mom's personality islands just out there in the distance. Yeah, can't tell what it is, but it's there.
Sure,
give me something like that.
Yeah, agreed. But I can see where, from a writing standpoint and a writing standpoint, an artistic standpoint, you want to keep everything on Riley, be like everything about her emotions.
That's why I'm saying don't like point it out. I'm just saying if
give us some detail.
If her mind is like that, to some degree, since she is related by blood to both of her parents, there should be at least some similar architecture, I guess is the best word I'm looking for.
True.
So, I mean, I'm still assuming there should be a window on the back wall where where the emotions could see the personality islands.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Even if we can't make out what those personality islands are.
Okay.
I want to see that they're there.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just not important and there was a good thought process in there. I mean, Mom's mind looked like the set of The View, and Dad's mind looked like the set of ESPN.
Yes, I agree.
So maybe I should just let it go, but
that was good. That was good.
We need to rate this thing.
Yes, we do.
What are you rating it?
What are you rating it? I'm curious.
I am actually going with 8.5. This is a very cleverly designed film. It's a fun one to watch. It may not be one I go back to regularly just because I don't really connect with the characters.
Okay.
Myself.
Fair.
But I can appreciate what they were doing, the type of story they were telling. And then, of course, the animation, because the animation is very good in this. So, yeah, I give it an 8.5.
Okay. I give this movie a 9. It's well done, like story-wise, beautifully designed, like the way they designed the imagination in the world of Riley's mind. It is just so well crafted and well designed. The emotional spectrum is all over the place. I enjoy it. From a psychological standpoint, it's done very well. You understand where they're going with like everything that's going on, and the journey in which our characters go is just the emotional roller coaster, and it's great. Like you see Riley, like from her, her adolescence into her preteen years, and you see that emotional spectrum, which is done very well. And I wish and pray that Disney Pixar would go back to that and do in-depth, beautiful stories like this. I just don't see it in the near future. Unless I don't, what is the next Pixar film coming out? I don't remember. Because I know Disney's is Wish.
Elemental just came out. Let me look.
And I don't know if that did very well, because right now all the Disney movies and their affiliates are not doing well.
Yeah, bear in mind there's a writer's strike going on right now.
That is true.
Anything I'm about to say is up in the air in terms of actual release date,
right.
Kind of give you an idea as to what's next. If I can click the right buttons on here.
Wish is the one that's coming from Disney. I know that.
Yeah, it's Disney.
Yeah,
but most of those lines should be finished.
Yeah, that one's finished.
It's currently scheduled that Elio is supposed to come out March 1st, 2024.
Yeah.
And Inside Out 2 is also scheduled next year for June 14th.
Yeah.
But writer strike could screw, and actor strike could mess all that up.
That is true. We shall
bear that
see.
all in mind.
Exactly.
Join us on the other side of the break, and we will get to talking about what we've been watching, some stuff in the news, and talk about some X-Men.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's the next movie we're doing?
Looking at doing a plus review next week on Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm. Movie that's currently in theaters.
Yes. So yeah, we're doing a new one next week. So join us for that.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest the Retro Rewind podcast. Every other week, join the Retro Rewind pod as they travel back 15 years or more along the entertainment space-time continuum in their mission to review movies and games, establishing what is still worth your time today and what isn't. Expect fun banter and trivial insights from Francisco, Paul, the Master Interrupter Powers, and a rotating cast of guest hosts, all of which are out of time. You're welcome, Roy, for being on the Disney episode.
I'd like to thank the following patrons: Ashley and Francisco Ruiz, Book of Gaming, PaulJPowers.com, and Melanie Dubois.
And apparently I'm lazy because I keep take this off.
Plus uncut episodes, early access to the Cellcast Plus reviews, and special art from Jacob. Please donate to us on Patreon.
So, Jacob, I've got a question for you, my friend.
What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? So, a lot of YouTube, actually. So while I'm a little bit ahead in X-Men the Animated Series in season 3. I'm a little bit ahead. Because surprise, you just keep watching it. And so I was like, you know what? I've already watched the episodes we are reviewing. So why not find something else? And so I was like, wait a minute. I've had gargles on the brain for the last most of the day because something came out of San Diego Comic-Con. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute, but it reminded me of another show that came out in the 1990s, part of Disney Afternoons, also known as Gargoyles. So I started watching Gargoyles back in the day when it came out, and I rewatched it a year ago or so. And you know what? I love that first season. It's amazing story-wise, animation-wise, character development, character growth. It's so well done. And if you've never seen Gargoyles, it's on Disney Plus. If you subscribe to Disney Plus, go watch it. It's worth watching. It's might be a little dated for our modern audience because they use a flip phone at some point. And but it's an amazing show. Go watch it. And plus, David Keith? I'm saying,
yeah, David Keith.
Yeah, David Keith is the voice of Goliath, and that man has an amazing voice. I like the line in which you hear him just roar it. If I'm going to say it right, it's to be like, I have been denied everything, even my revenge. I was like, oh my, that's amazing line. Oh my gosh, yes. So yes.
You say all that, and you fail to mention that Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis are playing evil lovers.
I was gonna get
Evil
there.
Riker and Troy. It's hilarious.
Yes.
For me, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, because that'd be like if you.
I'm just waiting for evil Riker up there to call the female gargoyle Imzadi, and you don't even know what that means.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Betazoid for beloved. That's what Riker always calls Troy.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
All right.
Continue. We're still on your section.
No, I'm good. I'm done. I'm
You're
done.
done?
I'm not like the depth of nerdiness you are in Star Trek. It's like it's great and it's just funny as all out. So yeah, no shade there. I just thought it was great.
Really? This is the game we're gonna be playing?
Hey, I'm not throwing shade. I thought it was funny.
So all you've watched is gargoyles.
Yeah, that's all.
And a lot of YouTube.
And a lot of YouTube. Yeah. Unless I'm completely forgetting
Not
something.
that I know of.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you've been watching. We don't hang out that much.
I would hope so. They doesn't know what I watch.
No, I have been. Well, since we have a month and 10 days ish until Ahsoka comes out on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And it's looking very much like Star Wars Rebels season 5. I am plowing through Star Wars Rebels. I am about halfway through season 1.
Yeah.
It's a good show. I actually do suggest it. And especially if you want to catch up on Ahsoka before Ahsoka before then, you can pretty much jump in there. There's a couple things you might need to know about ahead of time, but yeah, you can kind of just jump in there and just have a ball with the crew of the Ghost. But yeah, I have been watching that. And of course, I watched the new episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. That was a good one. I'll wait for the news for that. Other than that, that's pretty much all I've had a chance to watch.
Gotcha.
So what do we have in the news?
The Cellcast News with your host Jacob Heron.
Why, thank you, D-Lit. So, San Diego Comic-Con is happening right now in San Diego. So, for animation guys like us, it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to get a ton of stuff.
We hope.
And we already have. So, going into it, apparently, Ryan Reynolds, famous actor, Deadpool, what have you, apparently is trying to revive a certain TV show or cartoon from the 1990s. Something I remember watching. It was cool. Something about mice on bikes.
Why?
All right, so let me read the article.
Why?
It's cool. Nostalgia, okay?
Why biker mice from Mars?
Because it's funny and cool.
It's biker mice from Mars.
And your point?
It's one step above tattooed teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills.
Ow! No. Danger Mice?
Danger Mouse was a thing.
Danger Mouse. I'm sorry, Danger Mouse, yes. So let me read the article. But yes, Biker Mice from Mars was awesome for a 90s kid. Now, granted, you watch him nowadays, it's like, whoa, okay, that's a bit weird. But Biker Mice from Mars is really cool. I enjoy it. I know Drew doesn't apparently really like Biker Mice.
SWAT Cats was better.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree. Yes.
The SWAT Cats need to eat the biker mice from Mars.
Yes, that's so funny. Like we need a biker. We need a SWAT Cats TV show again, please. Thank you very much. Someone do it for us. Thank you. We'd be all appreciated. All right. So going to the article itself, another 90s cartoon classic is revving up. Wonk, wonk, wonk. To burn rubber. We're going to get these puns throughout this entire article, people.
Now it sounds like you're trying to describe Power Rangers Turbo.
Apparently, we don't talk about Turbo in some shows.
Oh, we talked about it.
Yeah.
We ran that thing into the ground. If that episode of Power Trip ever comes out, which I will publish, I will post links when it does. That's going to be a trip to listen to.
So you rode the tires off of it?
I'm not going to go too much into it because that would be spoiling.
Yes. All right. So burning rubber into a screen revival. Sorry, Drew. With the news that actor, producer, and motorcyclist enthusiast Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool films, Free Guy, and the upcoming, I didn't know this is going to be interesting if it happens, Dragon's Lair, the movie. You know
Dragon's Lair?
Dragon's Lair.
The movie that's been in production for 10 years?
Something like that.
Because he can't, because what's his name?
Don Bluth?
Don Bluth can't get funding?
That's true. He's always had problem funding with anything. But
I nearly said Ralph Bakshi, okay?
Okay, fair enough.
I know it's not Ralph Bakshi.
Fair, okay. So apparently he signed to be a co-producer with Nestle Company's reboot of Microbites from Mars. This latest take on the sci-fi action tune is also being co-produced by television streaming service Fubu.
But I don't know.
Fubo, you know, Fubi. Fubo. That's it. Fubo.
No, I think it's Fubo, but I was thinking
it's
Fubar.
Right.
It sounds like a Fubar.
All right. So today, during the official Star Trek The Animated Celebration panel at San Diego Comic-Con, going on in, obviously, San Diego, California, fans receive a sneak peek into the year's salute into the 50th anniversary of Star Trek's first volley into animation, Star Trek The Animated Series. So it appears that CBS Studios is creating 5 all-new animated promotional spots in the style of the Star Trek animated series, featuring fan favorite characters voiced by cast members from across the Star Trek universe, including Jonathan Frakes, Doug Jones, and
Armin Shimmerman.
Thank you, Armin Shimmerman. Yeah, Armin Shimmerman. Thank you. So
AKA, you just said Riker, Saru, and Quark.
Someone knows their Star Trek.
I've been watching it since I was 5.
That is true. So
it is my earliest memory coming home from church and watching Star Trek. Give me a break.
Fair enough. All right. So I saw a bit like there again, going back to our childhood, because apparently the 90s and late 80s are so nostalgic for everybody, definitely people our age. So Max is bringing back another show, which I remember fond memories of, but it's an updated version of it. So during the San Diego Comic-Con, or as the article starts, Cartoon Class is in session.
Exactly. All a little loony, and in this cartoon.
So today at the San Diego Comic-Con, Tiny Toons University released an official theme song to its upcoming animated series, in which debuts this fall on Cartoon Networks and on Max. The new theme, composed by Matthew Jesron, probably pronounced that wrong. Who has done many things, strikes the nostalgic chord by showcasing Bruce Botman's iconic theme from the Tiny Toon Adventure, which you can hear Drew singing the entire time, because it's like Riley's, the gum theme in your head. You just can't get rid of it.
Tiny Toon Adventures coming.
So yes, I do plan on putting
the one from '91.
Yeah. Yes, this one is a slight update.
Slight difference.
Because apparently they are no longer in high school but in college.
So they were going to Acme University either way.
That is true.
So,
and apparently, what is it? Not Bugs. What's the
Babs and Buster Bunny?
Buster. Apparently, Buster and Plucky are roommates. That's gonna be interesting.
Well, you couldn't have had him and Babs.
Yeah, because that would just be no.
Because they have no relation.
No, they don't. Definitely not. All right. So, oh my gosh. So going back to the 80s this time, and another show I watched, Drew wasn't allowed to watch for some bizarre reason, but there we go. In advance of Paramount Pictures releasing the brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem to theaters, exclusive theaters on April 2nd. If you're gonna go watch it. It sounds interesting. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do a reaction to it at some point. But Nickelodeon announced the acquirement of the original Fred Wolf Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series from 1987 to 1996. The news is shared during today's panel for the upcoming film at the San Diego Comic-Con. And with that, so the whole reason I brought up, wow, I am terrible with names. One moment, please. Thank you.
Mikey, Raph.
No. Keith Davis, Keith David, who voiced Goliath. I wish they were bringing back, Gargoyles. That'd be amazing, but they're not. What Keith David is doing, though, they revealed during a He-Man panel at San Diego Comic-Con. They haven't shown trailers or anything yet, but for the upcoming Masters Universe Revolution, exactly. So apparently Keith David, did you watch that show?
No.
Okay, well, never mind.
I didn't watch He-Man.
Okay.
Not for long, anyway.
That's true. I can totally get it. But Keith David is voicing Hordak. I'm like, ha! Yes! Thank you very much. Because that iconic voice as a villain is always good. So, yes, bring it. So, yeah, that's all I have for the news. Unless Drew has something I don't know about.
One minor thing. If you are listening to us live, next Thursday, which is what?
That's a good question. What is Thursday next week?
July 27th. If you enjoy Star Trek Lower Decks, that is when the crossover episode with Strange New Worlds is airing. It is going to be an episode titled "Those Old Scientists."
Oh,
in reference to what I can't remember character names now. The first officer always referred to the because he calls it the TOS era during Kirk's time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we call it TOS era because that stands for the original series.
Yes,
he says it stands for Those Old Scientists, and it is that time period. So, yeah,
yes.
And they released a clip as a part of this week's Ready Room, which is their after show basically for Star Trek. They showed a clip from next week with Boimler in sickbay with Anson Mount and his Pike and Una standing over him. That's number one.
Okay,
that doesn't tell you much.
No, it doesn't.
Who these characters are.
No, I don't. I know who Anson Mount as Pike is.
Yes. And there's even a part where she says, "Here, you might want this back. You don't want to pollute the timeline any." And Boimler recognizes Una and gets spooked and runs off. And she goes, "You don't think he knows something about my future, does he?" I'm thinking, no, that's just Boimler. He thinks you're cute, Una.
And then he runs scared.
It'll be interesting to see. He does have purple hair.
Wow.
He does have purple
Wow,
hair.
that is good. That is good. I'm just gonna say,
Dyed purple hair.
wow.
It's a dark purple, but
yes. I'm just gonna say this, be like, yes, you are correct, Roy.
I have already decided whenever we get back to Lower Decks, we're probably starting off with the Strange New Worlds episode.
Yeah.
So whenever that occurs, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. I do have an idea, but we'll talk about it after the show is ended.
Okay. So the next time the internet hiccups.
Maybe. Hopefully it doesn't this time.
But before it does that, why don't we talk about some X-Men?
Previously on X-Men.
Meet the sulky, over-pumpy, kinda hulky superhero, optimistic
And electrically transistored superhero and exotically erotic and exotic superhero. The Marvel superheroes have arrived. X-Men, X-Men, it's today, X-Men, X-Men, come your way. Spider-Man and his amazing friends, Iceman and Firestar. Green Hulk in tears, Dr. Doom is up in tears, when Iron Man joins the fight. Sings to the sky, sidebars, Hammer has run. Hunger's Mike, who'll save the day? The superhero squad. I tried.
You tried. It was good. It was a good attempt.
Jiminy Crickets on a pogo stick.
Agreed.
X-Men Season 4. We're finally really getting into it, even though we technically started last time. Sanctuary Parts 1 and 2. Originally aired December 21st, 1995. October 21st, 95 and October 28th, 95, respectively. These episodes were directed by Larry Houston and Fred Miller and written by Stephen Melching and Jeff Saylor, respectively. Weary of battling mutant supremacy,
I am Magneto, master of Magnet.
offer to transport all mutants to an orbiting asteroid named Asteroid M, where they can live peaceful and human-free lives. As Magneto plummets helplessly to Earth, Fabian Cortez assumes control of Asteroid N and sends hundreds of missiles towards Earth. Getting into the cast for this, we have Len Carlson reprising his role as President Robert Kelly, a U.S. delegate, and Marco Delgado. David Fox as the Sentinels. Jeffrey Max Nichols as Fabian Cortez. Susan Roman as Amelia Vogt. James Blendick as Apocalypse. Paul Haddad as Byron Callie. Dave Hennessy as Chrome. Ellen Ray Hennessy as Carmela Unisclone. And of course, David Hemblin as Magneto.
I am Magneto, master of Magnet.
I'm sorry, I have missed Magneto on this show.
Yeah, agreed. And he doesn't do a lot in these two episodes.
No, but he's a character at least.
True.
Getting into the trivia for this one. Together, Sanctuary Parts 1 and 2 are a very loose adaptation of the Mutant Genesis storyline from X-Men Volume 2, Issues 1 through 3 of the Jim Lee, Chris Claremont era of X-Men Comics, Volume 2, 1991.
Yeah.
In this episode, we get the debut of Acolytes, Magneto's followers on Asteroid M, which are Fabian Cortez, Amelia Vogt, Marco Delgado, Joanna Cargill, and Frenzy, Chrome, and Carmelo Unicion, and Byron Calley / Burner. We get cameos from Doc Samson, while Gambit is scrolling through a list of missing scientists. We get cameos from X Factor, aka Havoc, Polaris, Strong Guy, that's literally the name they listed, Quicksilver, Wolfsbane, and Forge. Gideon and Haven are all seen as Cortez addresses the people of Earth. And this is my favorite listing of cameo because apparently they couldn't tell which of these two characters it was supposed to be. It's either Black Panther or Moon Knight.
Oh, it was Black Panther.
That was Black Panther.
That was Black Panther. Come on.
I can tell you that was Black Panther. They landed in Wakanda. Let's be honest. In this episode, Professor Xavier wears his purple and silver Shi'ar exoskeleton, which allows him to walk. This suit was first seen in the comics during Fatal Attractions crossover events. However, in this episode, Xavier's not seen walking at all in this episode. Lastly, Deathbird, sister of Tekken and Lilandra, is seen alongside Apocalypse when he addresses Cortez, indicating that she has allied herself with Apocalypse. This is a weird couple of episodes.
Yes, it is.
It's a bad couple episodes. It's just, this feels very
odd.
Odd is the best way I know how to put it. It's like after they finished the Dark Phoenix saga, they just decided, oh, we need a season opener. Let's do that thing we were going to that Pride of the X-Men was going to be based on, except different. And it is different.
Yes, very.
At least there's a decent plot line through this.
True.
But at the same time, I'm going, why are any of you listening to Fabian Cortez about any of this? The man is a liar. You can tell that from when he first shows up.
What
are your thoughts?
Oh my gosh. These two episodes were so funky. I was like, okay, Magneto shows up, be like, oh, we got Sanctuary.
Yeah, we really kind of messed this up.
We did
putting Hunchback of Notre Dame with this, pairing it with these episodes.
Agreed.
Which is ironic because both of those were my picks. Why didn't I think of that? Actually, I know why I didn't think of that, and it's because the movie lists and the TV thing went up and down as I was trying to figure stuff out.
Okay, I got
That's why they didn't line up. Not because I didn't think of it at all until tonight.
Okay.
Anyway,
so like it's interesting, but like Magneto finally shows back up and does something. Finally, thank you very much. But his role is it's more like, oh, we get all these mutants to go up to this space station.
Asteroid M.
That's Asteroid M. I'm sorry.
It's Asteroid M.
Yeah.
Technically, I would classify it as a space station in terms of structure.
True.
But it is Asteroid M.
It is an Asteroid M. Space station.
Which apparently stands for mutant, not for Magneto.
Yeah.
The master of magnet. Sorry.
Gonna play that clip to death. Because we may not get another episode where Magneto is in it.
Yeah, he may. Well, I'll find a way to play this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like, yeah, this episode is like, it's decent. These two episodes are decent. The animation is okay. The story is, oh, Magneto shows up. Oh, he's gonna bring all these mutants over to Asteroid M, and oh yeah, that's not gonna cause problems like it normally does. Magneto, come on, think it through a little better.
Especially when you go and attack Genosha.
Yeah, true.
You didn't.
Another mutant sanctuary.
That's not a sanctuary. That's a slave pit.
Oh, never mind.
We know
that is true. But they're claiming they're a sanctuary in this episode.
Yes.
Which we know they're not.
We do not like the use of the word slave. The we are just we're just managing mutant powers like we would any other resource. The citizens of free Genosha, the mutant citizens of free Genosha are not slaves; they are free. And going, yeah, right.
Are they free? Are they afraid of to leave Genosha? I don't think so.
They're not even allowed to wear different clothes,
apparently. But it's like these two episodes. I mean, like, yeah, you have this character who betrays Magneto, master of magnetism, and it's just like you could not see this coming a mile away, and everybody's convinced, like, oh, they like the X-Men destroy Magneto, blah 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 blah. I'm going to become a dictator of Asteroid M and blah 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 blah. It's like you wouldn't think that Magneto is not going to come back, because obviously he's going to come back. But it's oh my gosh, I think it's just so cliche.
I will say
I don't even remember half the episode.
I will say I appreciate that Magneto is actually having to deal with his people.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's who Magneto was. He's the terrorist bent on forcibly putting mutants, on top. It's how he's generally depicted.
Yeah.
And now he's having to face the people who are pretty much him when they go, wait, there are humans aboard the space station?
Oh, yeah. The prejudice.
We're not monsters, guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care. I hate all humans. Kill the humans. They're just astronauts.
It's like, yeah, and newsflash, you're human too, you bozo.
Technically, they're cosmonauts, but
That's
sure.
True. And they're probably smarter than you because they are cosmonauts.
Well, that just means they're Russian astronauts, but still.
So they drink the good water.
They know how to crush sparrow egg between man's thighs.
Apparently.
Because this is the only way I know how to do this voice. Anyway. These are a fun couple episodes. I was thrown off. So the internet issues we've kind of been fighting a little bit tonight, they've kind of started earlier in the day, and that's why I had gone ahead and reset the internet before you came over here and we started, because I had to start and stop this second episode of this like 3 or 4 times
to
get through, because it was just literally starting and stopping. So with the first time I saw Wolverine in his cool blue suit, I'm going, is that an animation error or is that real? Oh wait, it has to be real. Rogue's in a different costume too. And then you get to Xavier and go, wow, that's a fashion choice. I like that we introduced some new suits, even though we probably will never see those suits again.
Probably.
Because it'd be about part and parcel with every other design change the characters have had in the last 3 years of the show.
Yeah.
But they're fun couple episodes. That's what it comes down to.
Agreed. Like I watched this probably like a week ago, and I just blew through them watching them, and it was like it's serviceable for a story, kind of, but overall, be like I have vaguely memories of them. Obviously, the costume designs is like, yes, we finally get different designs. Thank you very much. You get more of this throwback to like I think it was like X Factor Wolverine, his costume at some point. I thought that was a cool idea. Rogue's design, I think it's Storm's design. Like we get different designs for characters, which I like, but the story itself is kind of blasé.
Right. So I think that's pretty much all we have to really talk about this episode.
I think so.
And it was for the most part very straightforward.
Yeah, it was
episode. There's nothing really that stood out as particularly bad, but it was just a fun little episode.
Yeah, agreed.
Next week, along with Oppenheimer, we're going to be reviewing the episodes Xavier Remembers and Courage. So join us next week for that. You got anything else before we head out of here?
No, I've got, I think Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. Join us next week for those things. And in the meantime, one other little thing. If you are live right now, check the RSS feed tomorrow morning. There will be a new episode for y'all. Very special new episode that y'all don't even know is coming.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
You can follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day. His Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. His Twitter at Jacob Heron. And his letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. His Facebook page, Drew's Photobin, to see his photography. His letterboxd page at GGeorge759. His Twitter at GGeorge759. And Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast. On Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming. On YouTube at Cellcast. On Twitter at cast_cell. The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us, and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
Triple Dent Gum will make you smile. Triple Dent Gum, it lasts a while. Triple Dent Gum will help you, mister, to punch bad breath right in the kisser. Triple Dent Gum.
I'm getting such a headache!